Hello. Oh, there we go. Looks like we're live. Yeah. Yeah, looks like we're live here. Now, I haven't done this in a while, so let me just go back to my official YouTube website and see if it has updated to show that I'm live. I don't know if it's... They didn't want me to do this. YouTube didn't want me to do this. It's still not showing that I'm live, so I don't know what's going on here. Maybe they really... Well, now it is, but I see it wouldn't even show it on the front page, on my home page. I had to go to a different area. They didn't want me... There we go. Hey, what's up? Mary's here. Kay is here. Yeah, YouTube does hate us, don't they? You see, what I initially set out to do, as you notice, the title of this video is not streaming from my front porch live, because I was going to stream from my front porch. That was kind of a pastime of mine when I first began going live. I liked to sit out on my front porch and enjoy a nice beverage and just chat and just have a good time. And so I went outside and I was like, man, it's a really nice night. Perhaps it would be a good time to go ahead and just do a quick video, to get on real quick and do a video for fun. Well, lo and behold, I forgot that you can't stream live from one of these now if your channel's not big enough. Sorry, YouTube. Sorry, I'm such a small potatoes kind of guy. So you know what? I was like, fine. If they want to do this, then I'll just go up and I'll get on the GD webcam where the lighting here is awful. This is about as horrible lighting setup as one could ask for when it comes to doing YouTube videos. I look like a ghoul. It doesn't help that I had a pretty hectic week, last week or so. Been on the move, been on the go. So, I mean, I look really washed out here, don't I? Ghostly, because I've got this light right in my face. Because if I don't have this on, even if I move my hand in front of it, it's like nothing. My walls in my office are painted black, so it's tough to get a good lighting setup. Yes, beverage meaning alcohol, Mary. Absolutely. Oh, Kay said, dude, the album is awesome, by the way, and I put the sticker on my wall next to my Star Wars posters. Awesome. Thank you very much. Kay, of course, is talking about this. This is Action Figures by Super Divorce. This is our album. This is something that everyone should be listening to. You know, if you're on this channel and you don't listen to Super Divorce, it's like, well, I appreciate you being here, but what are you doing? You know, you guys got to listen to the tunes. I've got. I guess I'm going to let you guys know what's been going on recently. We'll probably do some of that. But first, yeah, what's been going on? Well, just recently, the reason why I've been on the go is because I just got back today from Chicago. I accompanied my wife. Jess was tattooing at Star Wars Celebration. So we left last Tuesday, and then we had to load in on Wednesday. So I got the behind the scenes access. You know, I was there helping her set up, as she was, you know, technically a vendor at the show. So we got to go in a day before the event even started. So when I walked in, the entire place was still being put together. You know, they were putting the carpet down for the show. All of the other vendors were setting up their booths. It's neat. We had done the one in Anaheim previously. I think that was in 2015, before Force Awakens came out. Yeah. So that was a really big show. They're going to go back to Anaheim next year, I think. I believe that's the plan. But yeah, it's always a treat. So that's where I was. And yeah, actually, but geez, I haven't done this in a bit. Proper shout out to Proper Jeremy, who I actually met up with. Jess and I got to meet up. We had the pleasure of meeting up with Proper Jeremy on, what was it? I think Thursday night. I believe it was. No, I'm sorry. Not Thursday. My days are all screwed up. Not even close. It was Sunday. I was thinking of the first day that the show started, which was Thursday. No, we met up with Proper Jeremy on Sunday night and went out and we hung out all evening and imbibed quite a bit of alcohol, had a grand old time, which I'm going to do right now since I planned to sit on my porch and do this. But that was fantastic. Yes, very pleasant in person. Great time. Had a great conversation about a lot of different things. Great time hanging out. Unfortunately, I didn't really run into anyone else. I did see Jessie Milestone walk by at some point, and she was talking with someone, so I didn't bother. I've never spoken to her directly. I knew who she was when she walked by, and I was like, look. But I didn't see anyone else. I know the Jeremy was walking around, and I heard that EVS was there. I didn't see either of them, but yeah, it was a really really fun time. I didn't do like any of the panels or anything. I pretty much go and just look at toys and merch the entire time I'm there, and then get caught up on the panel stuff afterwards, because I hate waiting in line for stuff like that. I waited in one line the entire time I was there. I only bothered to wait in one line, and that was to get into the official Star Wars shop, which they had set up in like its own room that was selling like the official Celebration merchandise, and you had to wait in this long line. I think I waited about 2.5 hours just to get into the store where you could browse the official Celebration merchandise, and it was worth it because I did pick up something really cool. I'll show you what I got. Let me show you here. Check this out. I got this nifty jacket. You see this? It's like the ones you used to get in school, you know, like this nice material here, this nice sleek shiny material with the elastic neck, you know, and the elastic cuffs. But then on the sleeves, you've got these. You got the kind of cool. Well, I guess it's supposed to be like a slash, you know, like it's perhaps been slashed by a lightsaber. And right here you can see you've got the this is a bit blurry, isn't it? My apologies. But that's Darth Maul on the patch, and it says 20th anniversary of the Phantom Menace. That was kind of the theme. They were celebrating the Phantom Menace. Yeah, and I did get caught up on the trailers, by the way. I did do that. And then on the inside, look at this. Well, trying to see that? There's old Darth. There's old Molly Maul on the inside. And then on the back, this is the coolest thing. That right there. That is, that's like stitched. You know, that's not just like printed on there. This is raised. It's all stitched in. Fantastic. Well worth the wait. I'm glad that I waited in line for that. So that was the big cool piece of merchandise that I waited in line for. And then I'll show you something else I got here. You had to win like a special lottery basically to stand in line at the Hasbro booth to get a chance to purchase either of these. And I won the lottery, so I got a spot in line. And then I picked up both of these figurines here that apparently, as far as I know, are not going to be available in stores or anything like that. You're going to have to... Let me see if I can adjust the camera here. It's just a little blurry. I don't know why. But there's Obi-Wan and this cool like holographic card on the back there. Just look at that. Not enough holograms used anymore in toy packaging. And then there's the Darth Maul. So those were some cool pickups. Very happy with those. Very happy. Oh, hello. Good Brothers popped in, and I was just showing off some stuff from Star Wars Celebration. Trying to go live on the porch and have a beer, and I was not able to because you can't do that unless you have what is it, 1,000 subs now, I believe. I believe you have to have 1,000 subscribers just to use your mobile device for streaming, which is fantastic. That's good. That's good. So yeah, so that was those were kind of the exclusive celebration items that I picked up, and I didn't see a whole lot else in the official store worth buying. There was one shirt that I thought about picking up, but by the time I got to it, they only had 3 XLs left, which would not be good for me. I would not fill that out properly. So, yeah. Oh, there's Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's here. Good to see you, Obi-Wan. Yes, the plan is simple. Get me to 1,000. That would be nice. I have not really put in the effort recently, to be honest with you. I've been hard at work on some Super Divorce related stuff, on the musical side of things. I've been busting my tail to try to raise my game musically, let's say. Not real happy. I wasn't happy with where I was musically in many respects. And I realized that this channel being started in order to kind of build up, help build the fan base for Super Divorce as a musical project, I was not devoting nearly enough time into the musical side of things. And so I pretty much just dropped it completely. And in the meantime, I've been doing a lot, really taking on some, you might say, gargantuan tasks when it comes to the musical side of things. I'm enjoying it. It's been challenging, but I have a long way to go. I'll admit it. I think I'm going to try to be ready to begin writing some new songs sometime next year. That's the plan, is taking about a year and really focusing on some fundamentals that I have kind of skipped over as I've gone along. Because being a vocalist throughout most of my musical career has allowed me to just let other people do what I would call the hard parts, bring me a completed song, and then put vocals to it. And of course, with this album, Action Figures, that was the first one where I was also the chief songwriter, like putting together the music as well as the vocals and the lyrics. And I think I did a good job getting like the bones of songs together and then demoing them, I was able to kind of use the knowledge that I had to construct those things to a point where I could go into the studio and then get help from our producer Josh Schroeder in kind of fleshing them out and making them more robust and turning them into the songs that ended up on the final version of the album. What I never want to be, the position I do not want to be in again is the position I was in when we went into the studio for Action Figures. I never want to feel like it's going to take someone else helping me complete the songs. I would like to go in next time with songs that are pretty well thought out, not just demo kind of bone structure versions of the tunes, but like really well thought out and well implemented demos, as opposed to, like I said, demos that were basically a synth line and then a bass line and a beat. And that's about as much pre-production as I did on anything on Action Figures, because that was kind of I was running up to the edge of my abilities. And there was there were many times in the creation of that album, in the creation of the demos, where I'd have to stop and I'd have to Google how to do this or that thing in the recording program I was using, how to implement this or that synth sound. There was a lot of trial and error, and I want to be much better than that moving forward. I feel like I have a bit of a family legacy to live up to in some respects, because my dad is such an incredible musician. And I mean, it's like I don't want to be the bum. I want to know my shit. I want to be able to go in with full confidence next time. And I want to be able to not only implement the synth stuff, but I'd also like to be able to implement actual instruments on the next album. So I've been taking a lot of time to up my guitar game. I bought a bass. I've been very hard at work on that stuff, and it's not really allowed much time for anything else outside of family life, we could say. So it's like, even when we were on the road, when I went to Chicago, I took my guitar with me and still managed to get at least between 1 and 2 hours of practice in every day that I was gone. So I've not been flaking on that stuff. I'm taking it very seriously. I feel like I have to. So let me see. After some rambling, let's. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, Obi-Wan, to find the right balance. And sometimes, like I said, being behind the 8 ball in some respects, because I'm shouldering a burden that I have not previously. I've not had all these responsibilities. I guess I did when we were making Action Figures, but I'm, again, wanting to move beyond what I did last time. I don't want to have to kind of piece things together. So I'm really trying to get the fundamentals of a lot of different disciplines down before doing anything else. And so that has required me to shift my focus to that almost exclusively. And maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with this channel exactly. I'm not sure yet. Caitlin is here. Caitlin, hello. I don't know if you were here or if you've talked to him since, but Caitlin, you might find it interesting. I actually had an opportunity to hang out with Proper Jeremy over the weekend at Celebration. We were able to meet up right at the end of the day on Sunday, and then we went out to dinner and had a fantastic evening. It was great. He's a great guy. It's a lot of fun. Kay says, It's great to learn new skills. I enjoy your videos and your music and really respect you for trying to learn more. And then lesson about balance, not just for karate, but for all life. That's true. That's true. So I would like to do more with this channel. And I'm going to. I just don't know. I don't know what exactly to do moving forward. I can't devote several hours a day to it like I was. I was trying to do that. My philosophy was like, well, maybe if I provide a service, that was like my thinking with the news stuff, doing news stories every day. It was like, well, people who are in this community clearly are interested in like all the pop culture news. So what if I do this video where I present like the biggest stories of the day or whatever? And I was like, that would be a neat thing. And I didn't see anyone else doing that. And that was just kind of slow going. It didn't seem like it was really taking off. And you know, that's whatever. It's like not every idea that you have is going to hit. So, but what I couldn't do is put that much time into it, especially since it didn't seem to be really going anywhere. I enjoyed putting those videos together enough, but it was like, then the thought of the next album started creeping in. It was like, what am I going to do? From that, I had the idea to try to make the next album something really special from a musical standpoint. And like I said, not just try to skirt by on the fringes of what I could pull off, but really ascend to a different level. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for next time, is to do something that is going to kind of have wings on its own, as opposed to, I don't know exactly what I thought would happen with Action Figures. I think that the songs are really catchy, and I think it's a fun album to listen to, but it's like there are a lot of fun albums to listen to, and there's a lot of really catchy stuff out there. So it's like you have to still go beyond that. So it's like, what else can I do? Well, I can put out an album that's fun and catchy, you know, and people have a great time listening to, but that also has a level of musicianship that is impressive in its own right. So that's what I'm going for. And that's tough, because there are a lot of really good musicians out there too. But there are a lot of really good musicians out there who have never bothered trying to make anything fun or catchy. So it's like, if I can combine those two, maybe something cool happens with it. That's like the mentality there. Anyway, with the YouTube stuff, I don't know. I don't know what to do exactly. Obi-Wan says, by the way, I don't think I told you, I became an uncle a week ago. Held a baby for the first time on the weekend. Really? You'd never held a baby before? In all your life, Obi-Wan. Well, congratulations. And everyone, please congratulate Obi-Wan on becoming an uncle. Uncle Obi-Wan. Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben. That's got a good ring to it. Maybe you should start selling rice. Kay says, wish I could have gone to Celebration, but, you know, different country. Yeah, that's... Obi-Wan asked, will you keep trying to get on other channels, live streams, also podcasts, sequential Star Wars? I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm trying to work this stuff out, I suppose. So, I don't know. The other streams and such, I don't know exactly. And you know, there's I got into it on the Geeks and Gamers Facebook page with someone, and I've been noticing this with some people within the, what would you call them, as they refer to us as the toxic fandom, really the fandom menace, whatever you want to call it. People who are dissatisfied with the direction that Rian Johnson had taken things, which I, of course, am a part of that group. But it seems like there's another breakaway group from the Fandom Menace, and they have become these perennially butthurt, I don't know. Their cynicism is like, it goes beyond belief. The way that some people talk about Star Wars now, the degree of hatred and, like I said, and cynicism and this defeatist tone that a lot of people comment with, who claim to be a part of this community, it really turns me off. I'll be honest with you. And I got into it with a couple people actually. One was a couple guys were on Facebook, and then I think there were a couple guys on Twitter too. And I keep seeing comments like this. It was like, I've only interacted with a few of them, but the comments that I've seen that are along this line, it's a total turnoff to me. And it's something that I like don't have fun engaging with. It's not that the way they talk about Star Wars triggers me, or that I don't think they should be allowed to have their opinion. Of course they can. But the conversations that you can have with these people they're like predetermined what the outcome is going to be. Because the stance that some people have taken now is that anything that comes out of Disney Lucasfilm is tainted, therefore they've already decided that they're not going to support it. One guy that I was arguing with basically said the only way that he would give Star Wars a chance moving forward is if Disney Lucasfilm came out and said that 7 and 8 were no longer canon and they were going to start over again. And I was like, that's simply not going to happen. They are not going to scrap 7 and 8 because a portion of the fan base dislikes those movies. It's not going to happen. And he's like, well, then there's nothing that they can do. And it's like, well, then why the fuck are you still around? Those are the people who prove the SJW types right when they say maybe Star Wars isn't for you anymore. If that's the attitude that you have, then by your own admission, Star Wars is not for you anymore. Because you're saying there's nothing that they can do moving forward that's going to be good enough to get you back on board. And I've seen some people poking fun at the trailer for episode 9 and talking shit about anyone who's excited about it, saying that they're simpletons. That's what the one of the guys that I was arguing with, he was making that point. He was saying that I was brainless, and that basically I was a shill because I was, at least I would say, cautiously optimistic about 9. I said that it seemed to me like they're trying to at least build some bridges, and where I'm coming from is this. I'm saying if 9 is nothing but a fan service movie with like cheap nostalgia and retreading old ground that Star Wars fans absolutely love, in totality, retreading the original trilogy, pulling from that, pulling characters who've appeared in the past and bring them back and such. If that's all they're able to do with 9, and let people leave the theater smiling because they relive some old memories and things that make them feel good, that's better to me than purposely trying to divide the fan base. And I don't know what else can be done at this point, because 8 was so bad. I think that all that can be done is J.J. Abrams has about 2.5 hours to try to somehow gloss over a lot of what Rian Johnson did and just make people happy. I don't think it's going to be the type of movie that breaks new ground. I don't think it's going to be the type of movie that sort of boldly launches Star Wars into a new direction, I think they've got to win people back over. They have to play to people's emotions, and they might have to go for some cheap pops, let's say. But that, to me, is a step in the right direction, because it shows that they care enough about the fans that they put off by releasing episode 8 the way it was and doing some of the things that they did with 8. It's like, if you don't show them in some way that you're receptive to their attempts to get you back on board, then why are they going to bother to do so moving forward after that? You know, if you want Star Wars to be taken in the direction that the old fans love, that the real fans love, that most of the fans love, then you have to be okay with this next movie, I think, being just like a fan fest. That's all I can hope for. I don't care if it really makes that much sense. I just want it to be fun to watch. If that makes me a shill, then I don't know what the fuck to say, you know? But these people who accuse other fans who are excited about the movie on any side of the fandom, if they accuse them of being shills simply for not being dyed-in-the-wool cynics who aren't picketing and boycotting Disney Lucasfilm and everything they touch, then you're just dividing the fan base even further. You know, you're cutting yourself off completely. And if you do that, then I would agree with the SJW types in saying that Star Wars isn't for you anymore. You can have the old stuff, but if you're sitting there, if you're planting your flag and saying, as far as I'm concerned, there is absolutely nothing that can be done that's going to win me back over. They fucked up to a degree that I cannot forgive, and I'm done. Okay, well then why are you still talking about it at that point? There's no meaningful discussion that can be had after that. And I'm not, and I don't give enough of a shit about those people to try to convince them otherwise. And I don't think most people do. You know, but the idea that some of those people, I don't know, they can be very loud, and I believe that there can be a degree of peer pressure for other people to get on board with that. I think that's bad news, and I wouldn't suggest it. And I think that those people, they need to be, you know what, I'm not saying like kick them out. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying silence them, but I would say that the other fans who feel differently should let them know how fucking absurd they're being. And they sound like fucking babies. They are reverse shills. That's what it is. That's all it is. They are reverse shills. There's nothing that's going to change their minds. They've dug in, and they think it somehow makes them the most elite of Star Wars fans. The thinking man Star Wars fan. Because I'm not going to be taken in by a Palpatine laugh. Oh, these people are excited because they see characters that they like from the past, and then they heard the Emperor at the end, and fuck that. Fuck that. I'm pissed off. I'm not going to watch this shit. Are we supposed to be impressed by that? Am I supposed to be impressed? I don't give a fuck. Don't watch it then. You know? Why would you sit around and comment? Why would you bother commenting on a movie that you claim to not give one shit about? That you say you're not going to see. You say that you're not going to pay attention to anything Disney Lucasfilm does, but then you're sitting there and you're going back and forth with other people who are. Jesus. Let me see here. Let me look at the... Kay says people have gone too far. There's people going after those in the crowd who aren't as pessimistic. If you're not supporting this, that's fine, but don't infight with people who have hope, you know. And Obi-Wan says that isn't the majority of the Phantom Menace. No, it's not. I'm going to try and read Obi-Wan's first. And then he said, I feel conflicted about being a Doomcock patron, he's entertaining to listen to, but he's a hardline boycotter. Without respect, we reject. It's like, what, I don't know. What would be respect? I don't know. I don't know what exactly could be done. That's what I'm saying. You can't throw away the movies that have been made. They're not going to do that. It's just not realistic. So the best we can hope for is to see things steered back in the direction that I think most Star Wars fans want to see things go. And I think that we're seeing that at least a little bit with Episode 9. And it seemed like a lot of people were excited about The Mandalorian. From what I've seen, it looks awesome. You know, I have nothing to complain about there. And I'm not going to complain about 9. I'm not going to complain about the Palpatine laugh. I thought it, like the way it hit me, it was like I'm just being honest. You know, maybe it makes me a simpleton. But when I heard that, it was like, oh shit. I don't know. Is it going to devalue the events of the original trilogy? I don't know yet, because I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what this means. No one does. It's all speculation. But there are already people doom and glooming about it. And they're like, well, if they put the Emperor in it, it's going to fuck up everything that happened in the original trilogy. It just makes it all meaningless and fucking shit. And it's like, you don't know what the fuck they're going to do yet. Why don't you hold on and see? Why not wait and see? That's something that could be done, isn't it? You could wait and see. You could wait and see what happens before you throw the movie under the fucking bus like you know what the fucking script says. You fucking idiots. Jesus Christ. You know? Think. There's no reason to be so goddamn pessimistic all the time. It's okay to be excited. How often do you get a new Star Wars movie? I'm not saying it's going to be good. I'm just saying that until we know it's bad, why not allow yourself to, like, I don't know, have that experience of looking forward to something? You know? Just try. Just see what happens. And if it sucks, then you can go to town ripping it apart. I'm under no obligation to talk about how great the movie is if it blows. But in the meantime, I would rather try to look forward to it and speculate about how it might be good, as opposed to walking around kicking rocks, you know, and hanging my head and shit about how Star Wars is dead. Maybe it's not, you know. But if you claim to know it's going to be horrible before it comes out, I feel like you are under a more obligation to keep that viewpoint when it comes out, if it's actually good. And then you're in that tough position where maybe you do hear other people buzzing about it, and maybe it is actually really good, but you've built up this narrative in your own head, and you've talked so much shit leading up to it that you feel like you can't let it be good. Maybe you'll see it at some point. Maybe you'll pirate it. Maybe you watch it, and maybe you're like, man, that wasn't too bad. But then you think about everything that you've said, and you're like, you know what? Fuck that. No, I was right. I have to find reasons why this movie sucks. Because you have to, like, defend your pessimism and your cynicism. You can't. That becomes like a front. You know, it becomes a part of your personality in a way. And if that's what people come to your channel to see, well, then you can't let your audience down. You've talked so much shit. Oh man, am I going to lose viewers if I turn back now? If you've got a whole group of people who've been following you who just love hearing you talk shit, if you come out and say something different, it's like, oh man, am I going to lose subscribers? Oh, I don't want to do that. I've got to pick it apart somehow. I think there's a danger in that. I really do. And I think it bleeds over in other aspects of your life. Real talk. I don't get on board with that, you know. It's not something I'm interested in. So Obi-Wan had also asked, what was my impression of the general Star Wars fan at the convention? Did they mostly like The Last Jedi? I don't know. I will... Here's something that hit me. As I was walking around, and there are lots of cosplayers, you know, and I'm sure that there were people there who were traditional Star Wars fans. Of course, it's like if you go, you're spending a lot of money just to get in the door, and then to go around and buy merch and all this shit. It's like anyone who's there, I think, deserves to be recognized as a proper Star Wars fan. It's like, I don't think there are many posers going to Star Wars Celebration. It's just not, it doesn't seem realistic to me. So it's like, if you're in there, you've probably got some skin in the game, let's say. You've got some attachment to it. And I saw people dressed up like characters from every single film, from all generations. And I did see quite a few little girls dressed up like Rey. And that made me think, objectively, you know, there are people out there who will say, you know, of course the original trilogy has its fans who were there when the movies came out, and that's their Star Wars. And then they'll be like, then the next generation that grew up with the prequel trilogy, they're older now, and that's their Star Wars. And I've heard it said that no one is going to look at the sequel trilogy and say, that's my Star Wars. And I disagree. I think that there will be a generation of people whose Star Wars is the sequel trilogy. Because when the prequels came out, people would have said the same exact thing about that generation. They'll be like, all these kids, man, they still want to dress up like Darth Vader, and they still love Luke, and no one's going to be cosplaying as Darth Maul in 20 years, you know. But look, there they are, and there are people who do like these movies. I'm not particularly the biggest fan. I think that 7 is fine, to be honest with you. I don't think it's the best one, but I don't hate it. I would watch it again. 8 is tough to get through, I'll be honest with you. But if 9 comes out and it's as good as or better than 7, like, and I just mean more enjoyable to watch, as enjoyable or more enjoyable, if it's got some moments worth viewing repeatedly, yeah, I don't see any reason why there won't be another group of fans 15 to 20 years from now who love these movies, really, because the kids who are watching them, encountering these films for the first time, they don't give a shit about any of the stuff we're talking about. They don't. Just like the kids who were growing up when the prequels came out, they didn't give a shit about how annoying Jar Jar was. They thought he was funny. They didn't realize, they didn't understand how that kind of character really destroys the tone of that movie. They don't care about things like that. And so they'll make those emotional connections to those movies when they're that age, when they don't care about the analysis, and that nostalgia will stay attached to those. Even if later in life they're able to look at them and be like, yeah, Jar Jar is pretty lame, but I still love those movies because I got into them when I was a kid. You know, I mean, Bender is a perfect example. He feels that way about the prequel trilogy. He understands that they're objectively not nearly as good as the original trilogy, but they have a place in his heart. And these sequel films will do the same for another generation of people. So, anyway, Obi-Wan had asked, did the majority, I guess, did they mostly like The Last Jedi? I don't really know. It'd be tough to say. But I think that what was cool about Celebration is that maybe when you're there and you're kind of caught up in the atmosphere, it is really an opportunity for people to to come together and just enjoy Star Wars, you know. And I'm sure that out at the bars afterwards, and even in some spots in the convention, I'm sure that there were some heated discussions taking place. But for the most part, it was like anytime that they would show clips of a panel happening, it was like enthusiastic applause. It's like everyone's caught up in the moment. They're not there to really do the analysis. Maybe they're doing that after the fact, but like while the celebration was going on, it really was like a celebration. People are just there to enjoy the world of Star Wars. That's the old, the new, the legends, the new canon. It's all there and it's all represented. So it's like no matter which type of fan you are, you can find something that you enjoy. And even at the official, like, they had a bookstore set up, you know, and they were selling like all of the new canon books, but then they also had another section and they were selling some of the Legends stuff, like new copies of the Legends books. So it's not like they were trying to make people forget that those ever existed. It's like you could still pick up, they had like a special 20th anniversary, I think, of Heir to the Empire, I believe. And they had some other graphic novels of like the old Marvel comics. So yeah, it's just like people were there to just have a good time, I think. It didn't seem like there was, I didn't see any fights. I didn't see anyone getting unruly. You know, I didn't see anyone talking shit. It's not like there were members of the Phantom Menace there talking shit to people cosplaying as characters from the sequel trilogy, which is, who was that? Someone had made some post about that on Twitter, asking why geeks and gamers would even show up to Star Wars Celebration. What were they going to do? Go around and make fun of the girls little girls dressed as Rey, or crash the LGBT panel or something like that? And it's like, of course not. You know, they were just there like everyone else to have a good time. So I didn't see any signs of division or anything like that. And it was kind of, it was nice. We'll say that. Kay said, not hopeful about 9, but the trailer looked kind of positive, just not exciting. But I was happy with Fallen Order. It looks like the Force Unleashed style games, and it's got one of my favorite actors. And then back to Obi-Wan's point, Kay said, it's definitely not the majority being the overly pessimistic types when it comes to members of the Phantom Menace. No, it's not the majority. I agree. It's not the majority, but I don't know, when you get these people like piggybacking off of each other's comments, and you get like a large group of them together, it's just like, you know, I just want to be like, fuck you guys. You know, you're just throwing a fit. You're being brats about it. You're not adding anything to the discussion. You're not giving any constructive criticism. You're not telling anyone how they could do better. You're shitting on the attempts to do better. And it's like, what the fuck do you expect that to accomplish? It doesn't have to be a majority, you know. It's just like enough that I find it irritating. I would say that, and I, you know, it's like, sure, continue spouting off your bullshit. You're probably going to, I'm sure, every time that new details emerge from Episode 9. Anytime there's news about it, they're going to come back out and tell everyone why they shouldn't care and why they shouldn't be excited about it. But they're going to relish every time that something new does come out about it, because then that gives them more material that they can talk about, you know. Anyhow, Kay said, I think 9 can either be an objectively good movie on its own or do everything it can to fix 8. It won't be able to do both, but if it does either well, then it's a good Star Wars film. Yeah, again, I think that's about the best we can hope for. Hey, JP's here. Obi-Wan said, howdy, JP. We have to convince Nick not to give up on YouTube. Well, I don't want to give up. I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'm trying to figure out what would be appropriate. And Kay said, damn, bro, never seen you mad before. But yeah, you know, I just think that I don't like when people are just negative for the sake of being negative. It's a drain, man, you know? Especially, again, when you try to have a discussion with someone like that, and then it's like, it really is pointless. It can go nowhere because their mind is already made up. And you can get caught up in it, and you can convince yourself once you start talking or typing, you know, after you've written a book, basically, and you're doing this thinking, well, maybe there's something I can say that's going to get this person to be like, you know what? I didn't think about that, you know? Not necessarily trying to get them on your side per se, but to at least lighten up a little bit and be like, okay, maybe there is some way that this can be remedied. Maybe there is something that can be done, as opposed to just making up your mind beforehand, before you've seen anything, before anything conclusive comes out, just knowing, oh, this is going to be shit, you know, and fuck anyone who thinks that this is going to be good. Anyone who thinks that it's going to be worth going to watch, you know, they're just sheep. They're gullible. They've been taken back in, all this kind of stuff. It's like, well, I don't know. I don't think people should have to apologize for being optimistic, especially when it comes to something that people love as much as Star Wars. The idea is not for it to be dead. I'm not one of those people. I don't want to see it die. I don't want to see the next movie tank. I would like the next movie to be loved by the general population of the Star Wars fan base. The SJW types, the original trilogy fans, the prequel trilogy fans, the sequel trilogy fans. I would love everyone to really be able to get into the next movie without having to pander, you know, in an offensive way, we could say, without having to like ostracize one of the groups. It's just like, just make a good movie. Just make something that people can connect with in general, like the original trilogy. You know, those really are, when people say like Star Wars is for everyone, those movies are for everyone. It doesn't matter. And because look at who those movies are loved by. Those movies are loved by anyone. You know, it doesn't matter what color you are. It really does not matter what religion you are. If you have a religion or you don't, it doesn't matter which political party that you affiliate yourself with. You can find members of any of those groups, and within those groups, there will be many Star Wars fans. Star Wars is for everyone. That's correct. But the way that you make it for everyone is by just making a solid movie without pandering. You know, that's all you have to do. Follow the template that was kind of given to you by George Lucas, and I think you'll be fine. They're already inclusive. And Kay said, I can see why people aren't happy or aren't excited, but some people are way too intense on it, and there are people who have decided it's dead. I don't hate them, but I'm not in that sect. I respected how people in our community are defending the dude who became a meme after being really happy about the trailer. Yeah, I saw that guy, you know? It's like the reaction's a little uncomfortable to watch because, yeah, but, I mean, whatever. It's like if you can become that touched by a trailer by something that you're a fan of, then it's like he's not hurting anyone. It's whatever. Yeah, I don't really, I don't think that the guy's life should be ruined or anything. He's obviously not free from a little ribbing. If you post a reaction like that on the internet, you have to expect there's going to be people who take it and run with it. I don't have anything really negative to say about him, but I'm not shocked that some people do. But I think that it's a genuine reaction, you know. That's fine. Let me see, what else? JP says he was excited about the prequels when they came out, and sometimes a movie can just be fun. It can be, and that's what I'm hoping for with episode 9. I'm not expecting much more. If it's fun to watch, I think it'll be a win. That's how I'm looking at it. I think that if people will kind of shift their perception in that way and expect that from it, that they might be entertained. That's what I'm hoping for. It's a fun movie to watch. Now, I think that Star Wars is capable of being much more than that, of course. Especially like mainline numbered entries into the series. I think that they should be epic, and that there should be like a sort of deepness to them, and I think they're capable of that. I don't think that we're capable of getting that with this trilogy. So it's like, if we're not going to have that, then what should we hope for? Should we hope that it completely tanks and it's all dead, or should we hope for the best that we can get out of the situation? I think that the choice is clear there. You know, if you're not a dick, then why not just hope for the best? Just be like, we are where we are. Let's at least get one fun, or well, you know what? I think The Force Awakens is a fun movie to watch. Not the greatest, but I can have a good time watching it. And so like 2 at least kind of fun movies out of 3 should have been much better. Certain things should have been handled much differently. But what can you do? Kay says, I'm still pissed about them rewriting the lore, and 9 can't convince me 8 was good, but 9 can be good. Exactly. Star Wars will never be dead, Kay says. Even if they mess up everything they're working on, there's so much great in Star Wars already. And that's another true fact right there, is that there is already so much good Star Wars content out there that, yeah, even if Kathleen Kennedy came out tomorrow and just said, you know what, I'm canceling everything Star Wars. We're never putting another Star Wars piece of content out again. We're just going to vault it all away. It's dead. If they did that, Star Wars still wouldn't be dead. You know? The fan base is too big. There's too much Star Wars out there already. You can't do anything about that. Obi-Wan says, really weird I couldn't find these Facebook threads. Is the group US only or something? I don't know. It was just on the Geeks and Gamers Facebook page. I don't know if you're not a member of it. It says a closed group, so perhaps if you're not already a part of that group, maybe that's why you couldn't see it. I don't know. And Obi-Wan says, I just think you shouldn't always be trying to find the magic formula to get monetized on YouTube. Just see it as social media and come on anytime you want to chat with us or show us a cool game. I think that's going to have to be the approach, you know. I wanted to put that effort into it because I wanted to do well, and I wanted to build this channel up because it was a great way. I saw it as a really good way to interact with people who followed Super Divorce. Much more effective and much more fun than any other form of social media that I've tried, because Facebook is pretty much fallen apart for that. And Twitter is just Twitter. It's tough, I think, to make like meaningful, I don't know, meaningful relationships blossom via Twitter. This seemed like a good way to communicate with people, and I wanted to see it grow, you know. And I saw like other channels starting to do really well, and it's like, damn, what am I doing wrong? I didn't want to do what everyone else was doing, but I thought that if I put the right amount of effort into it and offered something different, that I would start to see, you know, the same thing happen with this channel, and I didn't. And it's like, well, I can't keep doing this if it's not paying off in some respect. And you know, I don't mean to sound like a dick on that. It's just this Super Divorce being like a music project. I've got to like, I had to have a moment of realization where it's like, I need to get my priorities straight here. And I think YouTube will have to be like more of a casual thing. And I'll just pop on sometimes. I tried to do the thing where it's like, I'm going to offer some sort of like scheduled video or do something every day. And you know, I'm not going to promise that because there's too much other stuff that I need to do. Too much stuff that takes priority. And so, yeah, so I think that kind of going back to just a more casual approach is really what I'm going to have to do with it. Because I start doing something and I want to continue increasing the production value, and I want to learn how to do it better. And so I can't do that in every single area of my life. I just don't have the time to. So, and it's tough. It's tough to make that decision because I enjoy working on this stuff. I enjoyed putting the videos together that I was doing. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't even have bothered with it. Because I saw for, you know, a while that it didn't seem to be doing a whole lot, but I was having a good time doing it. So it was like, well, just keep on and maybe it'll gain some traction eventually. But like I said, I had to have that moment of realization where it was like, no, I just cannot afford to put this much time into the YouTube channel. There are bigger fish to fry, we could say. I had to remember why I started doing this channel in the first place, and it was to be an extension of my music project. And that's got to be number one. So Kay says, honestly, I gave up on the Star Wars conversation a while ago. I'll talk about The Last Jedi when it's brought up on streams or as jokes, but I don't care anymore. It's a bad film in a good series. Good way of looking at it. Good way to keep your sanity. You don't want to become one of these people who's obsessed with just talking shit about Star Wars all the time. It's just like that gets old. It really does. And it gets old to listen to, in my opinion. I'm not down to sit and wallow all the time. It's just not it's not what I'm looking for. So, but there is an audience for that. And I will say this, it's tempting to get wrapped up into that because you see there's an audience for it and you see that people, it's fun to sit around and talk shit. Well, it's at least easy to do. I don't know if it's always fun. People get worked up and you can put yourself in a bad mood, really. But you know, it's easy to rant about shit you don't like. It just is, you know, but it's like another form of gossip in a way. If you do it all the time, then it can affect other areas of your life. It can just make you, I think it can make you a nitpicker, you know. You can just go around and you can have that attitude. If you do it too much, I think that it will bleed over and you'll start doing that with everything. And I just don't want to do that. I don't want to be that way. But I you know, I will admit, like I said, it's tempting to get involved in that. It's tempting to get in that discussion, to start thinking about all the things that bother you, to start thinking about the shit that you don't like, and then to start complaining about it, and then to think that you can get an audience that will be responsive and receptive to that. Especially when you see other people doing it and you see that they're doing well. Yeah, it's tempting, but it's not worth it. Hallmark Channel Jeremy, hello. Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, I want The Mandalorian to be good, and by the looks of it, it is. I'm indifferent about the movies. For me, the stuff on TV is where it's going to be at. Yeah, and greetings to you. Greetings to you, sir. Yeah, I think The Mandalorian looks really cool. I don't know if you saw, someone had recorded, like, I think about 7 minutes of a sneak preview that they did at a panel over the weekend. And I was not at the panel, but I saw it later. I watched the video on YouTube, and it looks really cool. So I agree with you there. Kay says Star Wars is kind of like Trump in the case of, yeah, here's a bunch of bad stuff and it's hard to be optimistic, but the hate is just overdone. Look what's outside this big pile of negative you have. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Obi-Wan asks if I will do Shenmue 3 nightly. Yes, absolutely. I will do that. I'll make an exception when Shenmue comes out. And I was thinking about doing a run through of the Yakuza games, because a lot of fans of Shenmue have kind of pointed to those games as being like they kind of took the torch from Shenmue and expanded upon the foundation that Shenmue had laid down. And, the games have received a lot of praise over the years, but I've never played any of them. So I thought that might be a fun thing to do on this channel as well. Try and work that in sometime. I think that would be cool. And maybe some more Resident Evil too, because that was a fun one to play through. And then I'm going to do your questions, Obi-Wan. I will. Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, yeah, I've seen the leaked footage. Yeah. Yeah, it looked pretty cool. Pretty neat. And yeah, on that, I should mention, by the way, that Super Divorce is now it's just a synth pop solo project. It is not a synth pop duo at this point. No ill will, no harsh feelings between Bender and I. It was a case where Bender and I have kind of a different approach when it comes to music. Quite different, actually. Bender was doing this basically because music it's kind of like a hobby for him. He had a good time doing it, but it's not like his life's passion or anything like that. The way that we kind of talked about it was, it's like he feels, I guess, about horror movies the way that I feel about music. So it's like, it's very easy for him, I think, to personally feel motivated to do like his stuff. He's doing Momster movies. He's got his own channel. He's trying to build that up. I think he's doing a podcast with his new lady friend who works at Fangoria magazine, and she's got like a horror website, and he's writing for that now. And I just had to have a discussion with him and tell him like what I was thinking for the future of this project, and how there was going to be this move forward with a much greater focus on leveling up the musicianship and putting a lot of work into that aspect of things. And it's just realistically not something that he was going to be like down for. And that's okay. like I said, we talked it out, and Hallmark Channel Jeremy says super divorced. Yeah. No, but it is, like I said, it's not like we're not friends anymore. I think we're going to hang out later this week, and we're still talking here and there. We haven't been hanging out much in general for a while, just because we've both been very busy with our various things, and so yeah. So that's a bit of news also. So I suppose with me moving forward, I'm going to do the 100th episode of the Supercast at least. I'm going to at least do that one and kind of figure out what I'm going to do from there. I will be answering all of Obi-Wan's questions, I think, in one sitting. So Obi-Wan, please look forward to that. I'm going to do all of your questions. It'll be me sitting down and basically talking to myself. So more of the Bill Burr style podcast. If you listen to Bill Burr's Monday morning podcast, where it's just him by himself. He doesn't really have guests. He just kind of does his thing. He talks. He rambles about this or that. So I'll at least do that. I'm gonna. You know what, Obi-Wan, I will get that up on Friday. Okay, I will record that and I will get it up on Friday at the latest. So please look forward to that. Obi-Wan says he should still be a part of the Super Divorce channel every now and then, as should Good Brother. Yeah, well, it's like, I'm not, I haven't, I have not played like Vince McMahon here or anything. It wasn't, there was no like, you're fired moment. It wasn't like that. So, we'll see. We'll see in the future how things shake out. Now, let me show you guys something here. Hold on, I forgot about something else that I picked up. Oh, at Celebration. The Celebration Station. Have you guys heard about this? This is a new canon novel. Let me try and get... I really hate the lighting in here. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to have to do something about this someday. Because it's like, if it's nighttime, this just sucks. It sucks in here for lighting. But this is Master and Apprentice, a new Star Wars novel. This is the Celebration exclusive cover. Yeah. Very neat. Very cool. I can open it up here so you can see. Yeah, to get this, because I was there with a vendor, I had a vendor's badge. I was not able to try and get this until the last day of the show. And what they would do is, if you wanted this cover, you had to go to the book booth right when the show started, and they had a limited number of wristbands they were giving away, because they allotted whatever number of these for each day of the show. So you had to go, and if you got there within the window where they were passing out wristbands before they were all gone, your wristband meant that between the hours of 11 and 4 at this celebration, you could go back to this booth and pick up your copy of this book. And so they did that every single day. And again, if you were a vendor, they made you wait until the very last day. So, of course, because I got in early every single day, I was able to make it to this booth in time. I lined up, I got my wristband, and I got this. And yeah, this book in general was selling like hotcakes, man. They had they had the regular edition of this in the bookstore they had set up, and it was like flying off the shelves. It was like, people really want to read this. I mean, because it's an Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon story that takes place before Episode 1. So this is, if you look inside, also, you can't really see it because of the light. Shit. Well, it's signed. This page is signed. It's a signed edition for Celebration. But here you can see, you can't even, this is crazy. It's crazy how bad this is. Can I kind of shield it? What is this? No, I can't. Never mind. I was going to show you guys the timeline. They have a new timeline in here, and it shows you at the top of the timeline. Oh, there you can kind of see it. That's what I'm pointing to. I'm pointing to Master and Apprentice. This is the first canon novel on the timeline now. Of course, the first canon story, I believe, is still that Recipe for Death story, the short story in the Star Wars Aliens short story collection book. But anyway, check this out. I've read one chapter, so I can't really give you much of a review yet. But if you would like, I can read you what the inside of the jacket says. If you want a little synopsis of the story, I can tell you what it's about if you'd like to hear, if that's something that interests you. If you're intrigued and you would like to know more about Master and Apprentice, then let me know. Yeah, so it seems like, okay, I'll tell you guys what it's about here real quick. Hold on. Let me just... Okay. An unexpected offer threatens the bond between Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi as the two Jedi navigate a dangerous new planet and an uncertain future. A Jedi must be a fearless warrior, a guardian of justice, and a scholar in the ways of the Force. But perhaps a Jedi's most essential duty is to pass on what they have learned. Master Yoda trained Dooku. Dooku trained Qui-Gon Jinn. And now, Qui-Gon has a Padawan of his own. But while Qui-Gon has faced all manner of threats and danger as a Jedi, nothing has ever scared him like the thought of failing his apprentice. Obi-Wan Kenobi has deep respect for his master, but struggles to understand him. Why must Qui-Gon so often disregard the laws that bind the Jedi? Why is Qui-Gon drawn to ancient Jedi prophecies instead of more practical concerns? And why wasn't Obi-Wan told that Qui-Gon is considering an invitation to join the Jedi Council, knowing it would mean the end of their partnership? The simple answer scares him. Obi-Wan has failed his master. When Jedi Rael Averross, another former student of Dooku, requests their assistance with a political dispute, Jinn and Kenobi travel to the royal court of Paijal for what may be their final mission together. What should be a simple assignment quickly becomes clouded by deceit and by visions of violent disaster that take hold in Qui-Gon's mind. As Qui-Gon's faith in prophecy grows, Obi-Wan's faith in him is tested. Just as a threat surfaces that will demand that master and apprentice come together as never before, or be divided forever. So there you go. That's inside the old dust jacket on this here copy of Master and Apprentice. So perhaps I can let you guys know how that is at some point. And perhaps you can read it yourself. Should be kind of neat. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah? Think it sounds cool? Let me know in the comments below, right? hit that like button. Give me that thumbs up, man. Yeah. I really been nursing this, haven't I? It's the same beer that I started with, man. Crazy. I drank a lot with Proper Jeremy the other night. Quite a bit more than I have in ages. Yeah, haven't really been doing much drinking. I mean, the occasional beer here and there, but not like that. I had a lot to drink that night. I had a lot. Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, now tuck me in. Yes, so I'll do a virtual tuck. Is there, I wonder if there's like a, hold on. Let me see something. Can I do this? Let me try something real quick here. Let's see. There we go. Will that work? No, I was going to... I was going to try and send a GIF in the chat of someone being tucked into bed, but it won't let me do it. Too bad. Very sad. Well, sorry. I tried to virtually tuck you in, and YouTube would not allow me to do that. So, sorry. I guess their chat is not... their chat's not advanced enough at this point. Or maybe it is for people who have over 1,000 subscribers. I don't know. I'm still, I'm small potatoes, like I said. They won't even let me live stream from my telephone. You know, I wonder who made that decision. I wonder what the logic was when they made that call. It was like, you know, it'd be really good. A lot of these smaller channels are trying to get subscribers by doing these live videos. So what if we kind of took their legs out from underneath of them and made it so that you need 1,000 subs to be able to live stream on your mobile device? It's a good. You're onto something, man. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Then we won't have all these channels trying to be successful. Maybe some of them will just give up. Is that what they want? What's the point? Why did they do that? I don't get it. I don't know what the deal is there. Hey, Jedi's here. Jedi Rider Gaming. Jedi Rider Gaming says, can't stay long. I'm exhausted. Well, thank you for popping in, if just for the moment. I appreciate it. It's been a while. AaronLewis.jpg. It's been a while, Obi-Wan says. Since you've watched one of my vids, there's a big backlog, so I don't expect you to watch all of them. They aren't all home runs anyway. Can I message you some of the best ones? Yes, you can. I haven't been watching many videos at all. But yes, send me a sampler. I'll order the Obi-Wan sampler platter. I'd like to start with that, please. Give me the Obi-Wan sampler. No phone streaming is all about not having a repeat of Christ Church on YouTube. Is that really what it was? That's what it was? Wow. What a It was because of the Christ Church guy. Yeah. You know what? You know why I think that's scary? You know, look, because you allow someone like that to completely alter policy. That's what those people want, man. They want to be able to affect change. Every time something changes in response to an event like that, you're giving those people exactly what they planned on. These people want things to start happening. They want to see dominoes fall because of the things they do. And so, you know, sorry, if that's true, I think it's a shit reason, in my opinion. That's how I feel. That's, I think, that would be a bad take. MO. K says, LOL, I only got 50 subs, so you know the idea was originally you wouldn't be able to stream at all till 1,000 though. Hallmark says, I'm a master of sarcasm. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do what I can. You know, I think sarcasm's it's good. It's important. It's important to be able to use and wield sarcasm effectively. Jedi says, yeah, it's been a while. Pretty busy lately, so what's up? I'm just here hanging out. This is like the first night that I've been home since last Monday. We left last Tuesday night and drove to Chicago for the Star Wars celebration. I got a few other things, guys. I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, and then there's this. I got this watch. Don't you think this is neat? It lights up like that. Yeah. This model of Nixon watch. I got this from the Nixon booth. This one was called the Rebel Pilot. This is the Rebel Pilot watch. I got this. It's a nice sturdy watch. This is a rubber. It's a rubber band, not like, well, obviously you can see. It's a rubber wristband. It's a rubber watch band. But this part, it's, glass, and then you've got some metal around the outside, and this white part is like a hard plastic, and then metal buttons, I think, or these might be plastic too, just painted silver. This part around the top is definitely metal though. But I like this watch. I'm a big fan of this. So that's my watch. Kay says they were going to ban PewDiePie because of him. If you look at the guy's manifesto, he had no real views. He wrote right and left-wing stuff, so everyone blames each other. Yeah, well, that's all he wanted. He wanted to quicken and exacerbate the social divide. He wanted to see people at each other's throats. There are people who want that. It's like he's playing the real-life version of the Joker. Just trying to cause chaos. Kay says, nice watch. Looks very Power Rangers. Thank you. Yeah, I love the Power Rangers. So that's a compliment. Jedi says, I liked this year's celebration. Episode 9 trailer looks cool. And Fallen Order looks amazing. Yeah. Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, where's your X-Wing flight suit to match? Well, yeah, reserve that for just a little bit of role play. Yeah, Jess has requested that I dress up like an X-Wing pilot. So I'm saving that one for the bedroom. Anyway, do I have anything else? I got some other stuff. I got a few other things I can show you. How about this? I picked this up. I got myself a Grievous Black Series. This won't do, guys. I don't know what's happening with the damn... I think that's a little better. There we go. That's a little bit better, I think. Sorry. You can see the light reflecting right somewhere over there. Whatever. It's right here. Okay. There's Grievous. There's a Black Series Grievous. I picked that up. I got this for display only. I bought my son one as well, so he'd have one to play with. I got that. I got a few older toys that I can show you. Kay says, I wouldn't call him the Joker. That's too much of a compliment. The Joker actually knows what he's doing. This guy was pathetic. Yeah, well, I'm not trying to heap praises on the guy, of course. No, I'm just saying that, You know, he wasn't necessarily fighting for one side or the other. He was, like I said, just trying to play that avatar of chaos in real life, you know, just trying to see if he could do something that would make shit go down, you know. And so, of course, don't construe that as me heaping praises on this person or thinking that that's cool in any way. I do not. When it comes to real life, that's no. You will get a big rousing no from me. These agents of chaos types, spouting their nihilistic nonsense. No, thank you. Not for me. Here's some stuff. So this is what I did on Saturday. No, one of the days. God bless it. I don't remember. They all run together a little bit. But Kay says, you're saving your flight suit for the trench run to fire torpedoes into the exhaust port. Very, very nicely put. Jedi says, all right, I'm off to bed. Nice watch. And General Grievous, by the way, have a good night. You have a good night, too. Thank you. Never Cold's here. Says, whoa, Super Divorce. How you been, man? Busy. Very busy. This is it's a post Star Wars Celebration stream. I just got back. I was there all week in Chicago with my wife, who was tattooing there. She did some awesome work. Unfortunately, like everyone who she tattooed had pretty much flown the coop by Monday, which was the day that they had the tattoo contest. And unfortunately, to have any of the tattoos that you did throughout the entire weekend entered into this contest, the person that you tattooed had to be there on Monday as well. And like all the big tattoos that she did were on people who were only there like through Sunday. So unfortunately, she did not get to enter into the contest show. But I think that she would have had a chance to win. She did two fairly large pieces that were both awesome. One was like it was like a stained glass geometric Darth Vader helmet on someone's forearm. I mean, it took up like the entire thing, and it was done in various shades of blue and black. Looked really, really cool. And then and she also did a watercolor Boba Fett, I think also on someone's like entire forearm. I think either of those could have won the show, but oh well, maybe next time. Maybe next time. Kay says, Jedi Rider's name makes me think about that old Bandai show, Masked Rider. Love that show. Yeah, they had some crossover stuff with Super Sentai, I believe. The Japanese show that Power Rangers like reuses all their footage from. Well, a lot of the fight scenes anyway. But anyway, what I was going to say is that one day I was like looking around all the different booths, you know, and just like a plethora of various toys from all the movies and video games. And I was like, you know, it would be cool. It would be cool to try and track down the collection of all the toys that were released for Shadows of the Empire. And I was able to do it, guys. I had to go and basically scour like every single booth that was selling toys to be able to like piece it together, but I was able to do it. And I haggled with some people. I had eBay up because some of the people were asking kind of absurd prices for a few of these things, like these two right here. So in the Shadows of the Empire toy line, they had two different 2-packs. So you had one, try and angle this so you can kind of see what's going on. So there's one with Vader and Zizor. And then you've got a comic book that comes with it. And then the other one was the Boba Fett IG-88 2-pack. And the booth that I picked these up from was asking $25 a piece. Now, I pulled up the old eBay, and I was able to find those being sold on eBay, both at like $8, or around there. Maybe one was 8, and one was like for 12 or something like that. And so I was like, well, I don't know about 25 a piece. Would you take 20 for both of them? And I ended up buying like a couple of other things from this guy, and he was like, yeah, okay. So you got to be willing to make the offer, because I think they'll mark these things up, especially at conventions, and people will see shit and they'll just be like, oh, well, I haven't seen that in a long time. It's probably rare. I'll pay whatever they've got on there. But many of these people just want to move product. So they'll throw a price on something, I guess, and a lot of people probably just walk up there and pay it, especially if they, have just like an endless supply of money that they've saved up for the convention, and like, oh, well, that seems reasonable. That's not going to break the bank. I'll pay 25 a piece. If you've got like, $2,000 that you're just walking around the convention with, well, that's not really anything you're going to bat an eye at. But if you're trying to be a little thrifty and pay attention to what you're spending, then you got to be willing to haggle a little bit. And like I said, a lot of these people are totally willing to work with you, especially if you ask nicely, which is one thing he said. He was like, yeah, I'll do that, especially you because you asked nicely. I appreciate that. So, you just got to be nice, be polite. Don't be like, hey man, why you price gouging on this shit? I was just like, hey, would you do any price matching from eBay? And he was like, yeah, sure. What do you got? So that's that, no big deal. And yes, Never Cold, I did go. I had a good time. Hallmark Channel Jeremy had said it sucks about the tattoos not being able to make it into the contest. Yeah, it's too bad. But and Never Cold had watched Kamen Rider. Watched it as a kid. I've never watched it. I'm interested though. I ordered the first season of Super Sentai. I got the first season DVD set. I've not watched all the way through it, I'll be honest with you. But it's fun to go back and watch those episodes. I watched maybe a couple discs of it so far, but it's interesting to see how the show differs compared to the old Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, take a pic with the person showing their badge, and there you go. Yeah, I mean, that would be nice. I wish they would have allowed that, but they don't. It's like the person has to be there so they can go up on the stage and then talk to the MC, and have people. I don't know how they rate the tattoos, to be honest with you. I didn't watch the tattoo show, but I know that the person tattooed has to be there for the show. It would make sense. It seems like you could easily verify that the person had the tattoo done at Celebration, but oh well. Never Cold says, I wish I grabbed the Shadows figure. They literally sat on shelves when released, not the rarest ones. Yeah, if you look them up, you can find them. They're not, they're not like super expensive. It's just something I thought would be cool to have. I don't expect to like be able to buy a yacht with the money I make from selling these at some point. It's just kind of a cool little task that I set. It was like, you know what? I'm gonna try and track down all of these, and I was able to do it. I'll show you. There aren't too many of them in this line, which is why I thought it was a fun little scavenger hunt that wasn't gonna break the bank. It's like, even, yeah, if I can track all these down, it's not going to cost too much money. So, and I like the packaging on these too. I really do. I'm a big sucker for the holograms for some reason. I don't know, maybe it reminds me of like being a kid, because we had a lot of this stuff going on. There were those toys, I can't remember what they were called. I had some when I was really little, in like the late 80s, I think is when they came out. And they had this kind of hologram on the inside of the figure. Like the figure had like you could pop basically like its head and like the front of its head and its chest was like one piece that kind of clicked into the rest of the figure, and then you could pop that out and then it would reveal like a skeleton or like a monster that was all holographic on the inside. You know, like you were peeling the skin off and then you revealed this like holographic monster on the inside of the figurine. I can't remember what those were called. But then, yeah, lots of like trading cards had this effect, and like Pogs and shit. It's got a nostalgic flavor. And also Shadows of the Empire, of course, came out when I was, I don't know, probably in 6th or 7th grade, maybe. I'd have to, well, what year does it say? 96. So, no, younger than that. Sorry. So I would have been probably like 4th or 5th grade when this video game came out. And then here's your there's your dash. You got your, hold on, they've got a sticker in a stupid place on this one. Let me just peel this off. I hate when they do that. Isn't that a bummer? They put a sticker in a dumb place, kind of blocking the view right on your packaging. No good. I remember this because I wasn't a huge Star Wars fan when I was a kid, but I remember renting Shadows of the Empire a few times, and I do recall that I had just a few Star Wars toys, and this was one of them. I had this Luke Skywalker because I thought the outfit he was wearing, like this armor, looked really cool, and I was always a big sucker for toys that came with helmets that you could put on. See, like that right there? I always thought this kind of stuff was cool. You know, all the accessories and such. Helmets have always been like an easy sell for me for some reason. Probably because I'm a simpleton. I'm a simple-minded guy. Here's Leia. Also with a helmet. So cool. Here's your Chewbacca. Again with the purple. The purple here is cool, isn't it? Good color scheme. Good choice of colors there. And what else? And this right here. Oop. This is Boba Fett's Slave 1. And it seems as though I have left one bag out in the car. That bag has the Outrider in it, and also Swoop with the Swoop Trooper. So I'll have to go out and get those at some point. But yeah, I think that's about the extent of what I purchased this weekend. There's a lot to carry around at some point, but you know. All right, Never Cold's out of here. See you later. Obi-Wan says bye-bye. Shellback, a.k.a. Hallmark Channel Jeremy, and said, yeah, I hate it when the price sticker is on the cardboard. Yeah, it's a bummer. It's not nice. It's not nice to do. It's a good thing that I was not collecting these for like their pristineness. Is that a word? Pristineness? They're a little dinged up, but that's okay. Like I said, I thought it would be cool to complete the set and to put those on display, because they're kind of they're not the rarest, but they are kind of unique. Kay says, I have a Hulkbuster Iron Man with helmet you can go up and down on. With helmet you can go up and down from the original cartoon that came out with Hulk and X-Men. Oh. Yeah, Hulkbuster. That's a good suit. It's a good suit. Will we see that again? Probably not. Probably won't see the Hulkbuster again. I wouldn't imagine. Those old Marvel movies. Yeah. I never saw Captain Marvel. Never did bother watching it. I'm not real excited about Endgame either. Just a little put off by the whole thing, I guess. I'm sure I'll watch it. I will. But that was an exhausting time, wasn't it? That whole lead up to Captain Marvel and then like the aftermath. Ugh. That was not fun. That was not a fun time to be a fan of Marvel, of the MCU. I hope that they... I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that, guys. I don't know. Oh boy. Okay. Well, unless anyone has any questions, anything that is on your mind, anything you want to talk about, I'll probably head out here soon. Maybe I'll finish this up. If there's anything you want to toss my way, by all means, go ahead. Kay says they don't need the Hulkbuster. Bree can beat anyone with whammon powers. Well, of course she can. You know? Of course. We don't need any of those old heroes anymore. None of them. None of the men or the women previously involved in the MCU. You got Brie Larson now. You know? Yeah. What a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke of a situation if I've ever seen. Obi-Wan says it's been good to have you back, dude. Well, thank you. It's been a nice little chat here. I'm glad I decided to hop on here real quick. I didn't know if anyone would be around on a weeknight or in, afternoon for you, I suppose, Obi-Wan. But I'm glad that we were able to have this time to catch up a little bit. Yeah, it's been good. It's good. Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, I got a bunch of Power of the Force figures. I know they aren't the most sought after, but I got them to look at, not to resell, so I know what you mean. Yeah. Not every collector's item needs to be something that everyone's trying to hunt down. You can have those things that you just think are cool. That's how I felt about the Shadows of the Empire stuff. So I'm going to have to find a good spot to display those. And it's how I felt, honestly, about, how much do you think this is going to be worth? How much is my Solo Pez dispenser set going to be worth? Probably not much, but it was funny. It was a funny pickup. It reminds me of the old times in the lead up to Soilo. A lot of fun times watching EVS's channel. I mean, it's just it's a bland movie. That's how I feel about it. I don't hate Solo. It's like, you know what? I want to watch it again because I want it to be good. I do. It was fun to make fun of. And like L3 is horrible. It's a horrible character. And Alden Ehrenreich, he's not a good casting choice. Dong Lover, I don't hate him. Maybe it's one of those things. Perhaps it'll be like lovable over time. I don't know. Maybe it'll be like a cult classic. Like people can respect the fact that it kind of sucks because well, it's just like if your Han Solo is not convincing, I don't know, the movie kind of fails right there. But I think visually there's some cool stuff in it. It's got some good action sequences. And I think that the Darth Maul thing, that was kind of neat. I don't know. Just kind of bland. That's how I felt about it. A little bland. A little bland, guys. Do you agree? You know? Do you think there's any room for it to grow in the future? Could it come to be kind of cherished in some way over time? Is it possible? Getting to see L3 blown to bits, that was a good part. Maybe. Kay said, missed your streams, dude. And you can tell because I'm watching at 6 a.m. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's nice to have your support. I really do appreciate you being here and everyone else who's here. I don't, yeah. I like to come back and do this a bit more, do some stuff. I don't think I'm going to be in like the, I'm not going to do like the race to the top of the YouTube charts, I guess, I don't think that that's the way to go for my channel. I don't have the time to devote to it. I don't want to put that pressure on myself, and I don't want my vision to get clouded. I think that I think these kind of streams and some gaming stuff here and there, that'd be cool. I'll try not to go like months without streaming again, but I don't know how often it will be. I will tell you that. Obi-Wan says, yeah, you can pretty much rely on me being here at this time. Well, I know that I'm assuming you have work. I don't know. Sometimes you have these functions, right, Obi-Wan? Thought you might have had like, this could be lunchtime. I don't know. Is this around lunchtime for you? Or have you already taken lunch? Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, you might have to pay someone to take the Solo stuff. Hallmark Channel has yet to see the Solo movie. Do you have Netflix? I think it's... Is it on Netflix or was it? I don't know. Yeah. It's not offensive. Bland. I keep using that word because I think it's true. Obi-Wan says, will be interesting to see if Lando talks to the Falcon / L337 in episode 9. That will be interesting. I wonder if they will throw that in there. You know what I heard? I heard bad news. I heard that the lady who voiced L3 is like she's a super duper feminist writer, and she has been brought in to work on the script for the new James Bond. And rumor has it, now this is a rumor, this is unsubstantiated, I don't know how much truth there is to this, but I heard, I read this in an article talking about this lady being brought in, and they said some of the details of this movie might involve James Bond being retired, like out on an island, retired, when he's visited by the new 007, who is a woman who has to try and convince him to come back for like one last job. And that all the while, he's trying to womanize her, but of course, because she is like a super spy, the new James Bond, basically, the female 007, that she is like immune to his charms. So he spends the whole movie trying to hook up with her, basically, and is not able to. because she is a liberated woman and she is not taken by the charms of one Daniel Craig. So please look forward to that. And by the way, again, the lady perhaps responsible for that story is the lady who voiced L337. So fantastic, right? Kay says, whenever you have time and feel like coming on, there's going to be people watching. Well, thank you very much. I hope so. I wouldn't like to come on here and just talk to myself. I thought that I might. I thought this might be me just talking to myself because I'd not been on in so long. So I appreciate everyone being here. I really do, guys. Thank you very much. Obi-Wan says, you started just as I was digging into my, how do you say this? Karagi udon. I don't know. I've never said that before, so I don't know. I don't know what that is, actually. Is it some? My guess is it's like a noodle dish. Is it some type of noodle? I don't know what that is, Obi-Wan. And Hallmark says, if I come across it on Redbox or something, I might rent it, or if I come across it at the library. Seems like they'd probably have it at the library at this point, and I can't imagine it being checked out. And Obi-Wan says, I heard her say she didn't watch a single Star Wars movie before deciding how L337 should sound. Yeah, well, it shows. It really does. You know what I was thrilled about in Solo? I'll give you a slight spoiler here, Hallmark Channel. I was thrilled with the fact that she actually gets taken out pretty early on. She was not featured in as much of the movie as I thought she was going to be. So that was like a pleasant surprise when I went and saw it, because I thought from the way that it had been hyped up that she was just going to be like in every single scene, and she was just going to be, you know, making all these snarky comments throughout the entirety of the film. But luckily she does not. She's blown up pretty early on. So if you put it in and you're like, oh my God, I can't take this. This robot is going to make me, you know, gouge my eyes out with my thumbs. You know, then just hang on a minute. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. She'll be gone soon enough. Just hang in there. Have heart. It'll be okay. She doesn't last very long. It was perhaps a gift from Ron Howard. Obi-Wan said, sounded about right. Kiragi is Japanese battered chicken, usually thigh. Udon is noodle soup. Okay, so I was on the right track. Karage udon. Udon. Karage udon. Okay. Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, yeah, but they didn't make her part of the Falcon? Yeah, they did, but it's not like she's she like becomes the navigation system in a way, but she's not like bantering over an intercom or anything. So it's like she's there in spirit, I suppose, if I recall correctly. There's never a moment where she's like booming over the loudspeaker as part of the ship. I think that they use like her whatever, her CPU or something. They implant it into the ship's computer, and then she like integrates with it. So she's there spiritually, if you will, still providing assistance from the grave. But yeah, maybe Lando will have like an intimate moment where he kind of runs his fingers. He like opens a panel and like runs his fingers across you know, a little component, and then they zoom in on it and it says like L337, and then he wipes a tear away. Someone walks in, like Lando, and he's like, oh yeah, I was dusting off this panel and got a little something in my eye here. And then he shuts it, and everyone's like, oh, might be something like that happens in episode 9. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, about done. I'm going to hop off here. I am going to do a bit of guitar playing, and then I'm going to head to bed for the evening. So it was nice to hang out with all of you. Thanks for being here. I will hopefully talk to you all soon. I don't know when I'll be back, but, you know, keep an eye on those notifications. You never know when I might pop on here. I'll try not to do another video. I'll try to figure something out here, you know, or maybe get something going on with the lighting so it doesn't look like a floating head in the middle of this black void, you know, a ghostly, sickly looking head. Because I just look terrible in here, you know. I don't think I mean, I guess I'm kind of tired, so that's probably weighing into it. But I feel like I look worse on the video than I actually am right now. So I'll try and do something about that so it's not scary. Okay, guys. Again, thank you. And let me just say this. Hallmark Channel Jeremy said that Lando makes out with a falcon. I'll finger gun shoot myself. Well, I can understand. I can understand. An 80-year-old Billy D. Williams making out with the Millennium Falcon. Yeah. I mean, maybe they could just go like full slapstick with episode 9. Totally change tone, you know. Yeah. Maybe bring Mel Brooks in as a consultant. Who knows? Okay. All right, everyone. We'll hopefully see each other soon, and until then, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you later. All right. Good night.